Hi, this is David Carr. I'm the president at Club Awesome Toastmasters in Coral Springs, Florida. I'm preparing for a presentation tomorrow on how to use PowerPoint more effectively. And as practice, I'm doing this video recorded version of the presentation. It's actually going to include some tips that I don't expect to make it into the live presentation, such as how to do animations. For starters, you don't want to present in this view. This is called the slide sorter view. This is meant to be what you use when you're authoring or creating your slides, not when you're actually presenting. You want to click up here on slideshow, and we'll do from the beginning. So I'm here to talk about how to use PowerPoint effectively and some common pitfalls to avoid. Some of this advice applies to other presentation technologies like Google Slides, but I'll be sharing technical tips specific to PowerPoint. We should start by understanding that there are good reasons not to do a computer slideshow. Technology can fail you at the worst possible moment, and often does. As a guest speaker, you may find that the projector doesn't have the right plug to fit your computer. If your slides are important, you need to make sure that you're clear on whether your host wants you to use your computer or theirs. And if they want you to use their computer, I would still bring my own laptop as a backup. Show up early and test everything so you know if you have a problem and have time to solve it. On the other hand, Club Awesome members often come to me saying, I just want to show a few pictures, or just project this document on the screen and scroll down for me. In those situations, you make yourself look better and more professional by organizing the information into a PowerPoint deck and advancing through it with a handheld clicker. Don't use PowerPoint because you think that's just how business presentations are done. Don't think it will make you look more professional. It won't if you do it badly. The speakers we tend to admire most are the ones who can hold a crowd spellbound with nothing but their own voice and movement, or with just a few crisp and meaningful visual aids. So what shouldn't you do? How about this, courtesy of the Department of Defense? Can you tell what this slide is about? This is a slide about simplification. It's the word right there circled in the upper left-hand corner. But there are too many words and images on this slide. I see a lot of Toastmasters making the mistake of cramming a dozen images on the page where one powerful image would be much more meaningful. Contrast that with the Steve Jobs presentation. Now, I'm sure the software here was Apple Keynote, not PowerPoint. But I'm showing this because Jobs was famous for presentations where he would use just a few words, or a powerful image, or a telling statistic in 10,000 point type to tell you exactly what he wanted you to focus on. And one of the things you don't want to do is use every bell and whistle in the software. So excessive animations, excessive use of animated transitions between slides are a clue that you're an amateur. You've just discovered how the software works and you're trying to use everything in one presentation. What would be a more meaningful use of animation? Well, maybe I have a big reveal to make. Like I want to say, thank you to the new sponsor of the WordPress for Toastmasters project, thegeeksontour.com. My friends Jim and Chris Gould travel around the country much of the year in an RV, giving presentations on technology for travelers. And they also sell subscriptions to the video library on their website. And they've agreed to help sponsor my open source software project as a way of reaching a new audience. Now, how was that created? I have a version here that doesn't have the animations added yet. So I'm just going to select the image. I go to the Animations tab, and then I'm going to select Fly In. And right away it gives me a little preview. I'll select the other image. And we're also going to make that Fly In. I can customize this a little further by specifying the order in which these things should appear. So I can have the second image, the smaller image, fly in with the previous one. And I actually can animate anything on the page, including this title here. So I'll have that rotate and spin. And let's see how that looks. Okay, it's a little weird without the title there when it first comes up, but that is how you would do it if that was a productive thing to do. It's good to have a slide at the end that tells people how to follow up with you. But what's wrong with this one? Well, who's going to sit there in the audience and write down that long, complicated web address, a web address that only makes sense to a computer? What you want to do is find some way of simplifying that. Now, if you're handy with websites, or you have somebody working for you who's handy with websites, you can have them create a simpler link that's more easy for people to write down. Or I might just say, follow me at Twitter, and here's my Twitter handle. I'll be posting some links right after this presentation, so there are going to be some great resources there, and I get people to the information that I want to share with them, but I also get them to help me build my social media audience.